What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of BurlyFishing and to another unboxing on the channel. Today we're unboxing the Monsterbass Regional Box, and this is for September 2020. So we're gonna break this bad boy open here in a second and see what kind of lures are in store for us this month. What are we gonna have fun with on the water when it comes to our on the water review? Before we get to that, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you like the content, you want to see more stuff like this, as well as fun fishing trips on the water and reviews on gear. And ring that notification bell so you can see when we post more videos. Hey, by the way, drop me a comment below. Let me know what's your favorite lure in this box. Do you think this box nailed it? Missed the mark? I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. Let's get to this. Whew. Okay. All right, we're getting into this bad boy now. I kind of cheated this month. I got to tell you this. I am a brand ambassador for Monsterbass, and with that, I make a lot of content for them that I put over on their channel. So if you get a second here, go check out the Monsterbass channel and subscribe to that channel. You're gonna see tons of tips, techniques, tricks. You're gonna hear from Rick, owner of Monsterbass, all sorts of good stuff going on there. Go check it out. So part of my job there now is I get these baits early, I fish them early, and I record some videos for Monsterbass. So I kind of know what's coming in this box, but as always, I'm just gonna unbox it. You guys tell me what you think about the lures, all right? Let's get to it. First up, we're getting into fall here, so we're gonna be changing things up, slowing things down, trying some different techniques, some less summery techniques. As you can see, I'm wearing a hoodie, like it's already cold, right? I'm in Michigan, it's cold. In Michigan, I got fall for about 2 weeks, then it's winter. If you're in the Midwest, let me hear from you. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so first up, we've got this Bait Lab jerk bait. And Bait Lab makes some good body baits. I've been happy with them. They also make some good plastics. This one right here, though, is called the Dizzy Diver. So this is actually a sinking jerk bait. So it's gonna give us like a slow sinking action. It'll actually dive down up to 8 feet. It's like a 2 to 8 feet is where you're, 2 to 8 feet is about where you're gonna be fishing this thing. So it's got kind of a steep lip for a jerk bait, you guys can see there. This one's got some funky colors. So the one I actually got to test products on this month was black and blue. This one is a little more of a, I'd call it a rainbow. Does that look like a rainbow to you guys? I really like the eyes on these. I think that they do a good job with that. I think that the shape, the mold is pretty well done. As far as the paint job goes, I give it it's like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's not the greatest. It's definitely not the worst. It looks more like a print. I don't know if you guys can notice that right there. But you know what? It does the job. I mean, it is what it is. It definitely isn't setting off any crazy flash or anything like that. As you guys can see, just a little bit of light refraction there, nothing big. But yeah, mostly it's just gonna be a darker color sinking jerkbait that I'm gonna toss out there. It's got a decent rattle to it. You got 2 sharp hooks on it. Being that I've already fished with this thing, I can tell you that it is a super slow sink. It's kind of going like that. I don't know what the rate is exactly, but it weighs 3/8 of an ounce. And as far as jerkbaits go, I mean, it gets the job done for sure. I'm not one to really always reach for a jerkbait. It's not a technique that I use a ton. You guys are probably saying you're in the Midwest. That's crazy. Obviously, you should be using jerkbaits, you dummy. And I know that. I'm going to start using them more. I'll get better at them. But on a recent fishing trip we went on, my buddy Paul, co-host of the podcast, BurlyFishing Podcast, go check it out, like and subscribe, was fishing with some sinking jerks that came in a different box. And he hooked into some pike, caught a couple bass, things like that. So, I mean, I know they work. I've used them in the past and had success, limited amounts of success. I don't use them too much, but we're gonna get back to it. All in all, pretty good jerkbait. I mean, something I'd be happy to add to the arsenal. Next up, we got a Walkabout. This is from Super K Jigs, another small company. You guys are gonna notice too, especially this month, this is probably like the biggest month for this, that at Monsterbass, we're trying to like get some of these smaller brands out there. Now, I know you're seeing that and you're saying like, it's not Strike King though. Like I want, you know, just these top-notch brands. Well, those brands are gonna get into these boxes as well, but every now and then we try and sneak in one of these like smaller companies. And I think what's gonna be cool about this, you guys are gonna like this, is Rick's gonna start talking about some of these brands and giving you more of a story behind them. So this is the Walkabout. It's a topwater bait. It's a walking bait. It's actually shaped very similar to that Patriot 2.0 that we got in the August topwater box. Not a bad bait. It's got this color actually. I do like this color. It's like a flashy bluegill perch combination, almost a fire tiger, but it's like holographic. It's a nice color. I think it's got some good flash to it. I have fished it on topwater. It walks really well. I had a couple issues where this hook would get caught up because I was using braid. I think next time I might use like a monofilament leader just to give it a little better walking action and maybe not get tangled up as much. I mean, braid is just gonna get tangled like that. It's not a frog, don't really need braid with it, could do that. So probably recommend that. Does have this cool little treble coming off the back with these feathers, added that extra topwater action. I love seeing that on topwater baits. And this one's interesting, it actually has this little cupped mouth there. So it's gonna spit a little bit water as you're moving along too. So interesting. Not my favorite bait, but it's a good bait. Next up, we got this Strike King Lucky Shad. So there's a name brand. So we got some name brands coming back in the box. This is good to see. Gotta love it. Love the small guys, love the big guys too. Gotta mix them up, you know. I can appreciate a box that mixes the two. So right here, this Lucky Shad, if you guys are not familiar, up north is actually a great walleye bait. So this is kind of multi-species, but it'll definitely catch some heckin' bass. I think it does a great job. So right off the bat, you can see this super steep lip that it's got there, super long. And you know, you can also see this little divot carved out there. So that way the split ring gets to move around a lot and you get a lot more rattle, a lot more movement, more erratic action out of a crankbait when that is put into the lip. So I like seeing that. This color they have is called Oyster. It's like bone pearl color with like some blues, purples, and a little bit of pink under the lip there. Like the color, it's gonna give it some decent flash, and then we got some nice eyes on there. Hooks, of course, are sharp. It's a great bait. It's a super light crankbait. Does have like a decent rattle to it. But this is actually something I'm gonna throw on a spinning setup, really. Like my medium heavy spinning rod is what I'm gonna be throwing this on. It makes it easier to cast. Otherwise, my best bet is like throw it on my Shimano SLX DC reel so I can actually cast the dang thing anywhere, because it is super, super light. But like I said, it'll catch walleye, but it'll definitely catch bass. So I've got my choices right up here on the north. And I think that I'm gonna have some good success with this. Great bait. Fun to throw, love throwing crankbaits, especially this time of year. I think this would be a good bet. Dude, we're cruising today. Next up, we got this zero gravity hybrid airdrop underspin. It's a mouthful. I don't know about you guys, but fall and spring, there are times that I really like throwing these underspins. So this one in particular, you've got the fish head. So the jig head is actually molded to a fish head shape. Got your line tie right up here. Got a gold blade coming down underneath, so great for low light conditions. It's kind of like it's a decent looking molded head. I think they did a good job with this. Eyes look great. It's a little bit translucent. Got, you know, a little flash to it because you can see the lead weight actually inside of that is given some, you know, reflection, which is cool. And then you got a little bait keeper hook right there. Super long hook, so we're going to use longer plastics, but I mean, typically you're throwing like a paddle tail on this, right? So rig up a paddle tail to this. Weight on this guy is about 0.4 ounces, they say, so whatever, you know, that relates to almost half an ounce. Swim it a little bit lower in the water column if you want to, but again, just throw on your favorite paddle tail. Go cast this thing out as far as you can. It's just straight retrieve. I can tell you that I took this on a camping trip and we were hammering it. They were killing the underspin. I was having a great time. And it's a great time of year to throw this. And this is something too that, you know, it's not, this in particular is not going to be rigged weedless, but it is something that I'm going to fish through like shallow cover. I'm going to run the banks with it. As long as I'm not going through super heavy cover, you can get away with a lot with this thing. It's pretty awesome. These are so fun to throw. I love doing these things. Wow, 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 wow. Lots of things in here. Whoa, I found our sticker. Okay, so we got the MB Made in America sticker. I can dig that. That's pretty sweet. Little bass down there. I like it. We got our insert. Okay, cool. You got the value of all the baits right there. So for you guys that are always interested in this and you want to see it, there you go. I'll go back through it at the end. All right. Next up is a surprising bait. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'll tell you why in a second. But this is a giant freaking craw. So this is the Mad Yabby, and this is from River to Sea. River to Sea, great company. I love those guys. Obviously known for their whopper ploppers, but they make a lot of other stuff too. So here's like a nice plastic from them. Here's the thing that's gonna hit you in the face with this thing. Ha! That is a potent smell. Very potent smelling plastic. But check this thing out. giant, what is this, 4 or 5 inches probably. It's huge. 5-inch. So it's a 5-inch length. They call this color watermelon. It's basically green pumpkin, I mean, but it's a little less dark green, right? So it's kind of more translucent, but you got those black flakes in there, right? Tons of little appendages coming off of this thing, and it's segmented in a way that you could break this off. So we could throw maybe that much of it on a jig. Look at that. As a jig trailer, that would be sweet. These claws have one of my favorite things. So these little flanges coming off the claws. I love that. Anytime I get a plastic like this, I love like Strike King Rage Craws, for example. You have that little flange there. It's going to make those claws move around a lot more. Gives you a ton more action in the water. This thing has a lot of action to it. It's definitely like among the worst smelling plastics I've ever had, but it's got lots of appendages. It's ribbed in the middle, tons of action. It's pretty durable. I caught a big one on this the other day in a black and blue color. And if you guys get like their black and blue, it's pretty sweet. It's like the top is just black. The bottom is more of that like holographic blue, like bright blue flakes in there. So I did like that. But I like this color too. I think this would be a good one for us. And we're definitely going to be throwing this around again. This is something I love tying onto a flipping hook with a heavy weight, especially this time of year. You get the fall transition right now, and your fish are moving around a lot. Go searching with some of this by like docks up shallow in the wood and the cover. You're gonna get them. You're gonna catch them. Next up, we got this big old crazy paddle tail plastic. So this is the BB Kickers from Big Bite Baits. You do only get 3 in here. Not the greatest thing in the world. So this thing is stupid. This thing is huge. It's super flashy. Like you can probably see some of that reflective nature going on right now. All those sparkling. Eyes are pretty nice. Check out the, open this thing up. There's your like little hook hiding area right there. Look at that paddle tail on the back of this thing. This big old thing right there. So what happens with this thing is as you cast it out, you swim it back. Like this is just catching water. And this tail is going nuts because look how thin that back section is. Boom, boom, boom. But this is a really durable plastic, surprisingly durable. I was throwing this around on an underspin, the little weight below it and the blade coming down. And it fishes high in the water column. It's I don't know what it is about it's the size of the plastic probably. But it just doesn't get down, which is fine because all my fish were up shallow. So you guys will see those catches soon. Stay tuned for the on the water review. But all in all, I like this bait. The sparkles come off of it. Not my favorite part about it at all, but it's a solid bait. Something good to be throwing this time of year. These little paddle tail plastics, rig them up to an underspin or take the spin off if that flash isn't doing you any good, right? And just rig them up to like a belly weighted hook or something like that. And it'll do work. Okay. Ooh, this is neato. So we have a little Bass Care 101 from AftCo. So we got a little guide here that walks through how to take care of your fishies. Oh yeah. Talks about like your water temperature inside of your live wells, how long they can stay out of the water, how to hold them. That's good. That's good. All right, so that's interesting. And there's a $10 off gift card on there too. So pretty sweet. You get 10 bucks off AftCo. I mean, I wear an AftCo sun shirt all the time. It's one of my favorite sun shirts that I own. I own a whole bunch of them, but great company. Solid to get a discount from them. 10 bucks. I'm not complaining. If you guys are subscribed to the Monsterbass channel, you've already seen me deal with these two things. We got the Standout Dropshot Hook, and we got the Somatis Baits Dropshot Plastic. So let's look at these two. All right, so if you haven't used these Standout hooks before, that is what we're working with. So these hooks are in a 1/0 size, but check out this difference. You got this little elbow joint here, and then you've actually got your line tie right there, but we're not gonna line tie it. So how these work is you actually tie your knot to this elbow right there, and then you run your line down through that. So what I like to do is I'll tie a Palomar knot to this right there, and then I'll take a huge tag, this time of year, 1.5, 2 feet, maybe more. And you run that line tag through the eye of the hook there, coming down, tie on your weight, and this is your drop shot setup right there. What's cool about these is that because of the line going through this elbow down right there, the knot being there, this hook stays up horizontal just like that the entire time. You don't have to do anything with it. It doesn't get twisted very often either. And I really like throwing these around. This is kind of like my go-to drop shot hook right there. I love using those. This pack is like a little assortment. You get 4 hooks in here and one of them's red. So you got a little variety there as well, which is neat. Neato gang. And then lastly, we got the Standout Baits Dropshot Plastic, which is kind of your standard like half shell type plastic. So it's like a little worm, right? Tapered at the ends. And what's cool about these is, so you can see on that taper, we've got like this little ridge here, which does give it a bit more action in the water. And this color is kind of a green pumpkin with little gold flakes to it. I've actually fished the crap out of this thing because I had to make that video for the Monsterbass channel. So I've used this a ton. Dropshot is just killing it for me right now. It is hands down always my go-to right now for finesse until Ned rig time comes around, which is very soon. Vegetation comes down, Ned rigging for me around here is the prime go-to. But right now, Dropshot has just been crushing it for me. It's absolutely hands down producing. It's easy to throw around. So I always keep this tied onto my medium rod and fish the heck out of these. All right, guys. So we had that Standout Baits, Dropshot Plastic. We got the Standout Hooks. We got our Bass Care Guide with $10 off to Aptco. Big Bite Baits, BB Kicker, giant paddle tail, which is fine. I like the size of these plastics actually for this time of year. For me, if you want to catch some big ones, throw big plastics, right? That Mad Yabby gigantic craw from river to sea. Got the Super K jigs, Walkabout Topwater walking bait, airdrop underspin, Bait Labs sinking jerk bait, Strike King Lucky Shad. All right. All in all, estimated values of these things. Lucky Shad, $7. Bait Lab jerk bait, $8. Super K Walkabout, $8. Big Bite Baits, the BB Kicker, $6. That's a lot for 3 plastics. They're durable. I don't know. Standout Baits Dropshot Plastic, $4. River to Sea Craws, $5.50. See, that's more realistic. And you got 6 in there? You get 6 craws in there. That's sick. The Standout Hooks, $3. And then I'm guessing, what did I miss? Oh, the airdrop. And then that airdrop coming in around like $6.50, right? Okay, cool. So got our baits, got our value. You know the drill. What do you think about the box? What do you think about the baits in this box? Now, I will say, although it's not the best Monsterbass box that I've gotten this year, these are high producing baits. I know they'll catch fish. I know they'll catch decent fish, and they are baits that I'll be throwing around a lot. I mean, I'm happy enough with the Dropshot and the Lucky Shad. Like, I'm good to go. But Underspin, which I will say, I already told you guys this, but that Underspin airdrop, here's my recommendation. While the BB Kicker can go on this, it doesn't go on it well. I would rather put like a Kitech on here, like with a bigger size 4 or 5 inch Kitech on here. Something like that would do better. And then I'd save the BB Kicker for a belly weighted underspin. It rigs up so much better and it stays on there really well. So my recommendation, you guys get this box, do that, switch it up. Okay. So all in all, it's a box I like. If I had to rate it scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it a 7. These are high producing baits. They're not my favorite baits in the world. A couple of them are awesome. A couple of them I'm like, take it or leave it, but still a great box. Hands down, the reason I get Monsterbass and the reason that I'm a brand ambassador for them is because they've been the most consistent box for me. I was getting this box for almost a year before I joined the team. So I know that I'm going to get something good out of this box every single month. But those are my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you guys like the content, be sure to subscribe, smash that like, ring that notification bell so you can see when we post more videos. And stay tuned for a giveaway at the end of the month where we bring back Monsterbass Mystery Tackle Box, Warrior Tackle Supply, 6 cents, super sick sack, and we bring all those together. We kind of compare them, review them. Maybe even that Canada box I got this month will be featured here as well. But we're gonna bring them all together, and I'm gonna pick a bunch of baits out of those boxes to give to you. All you gotta do is help me get that particular video, the big comparison, to 1,000 likes, and I'll be doing that giveaway as well as packing those into a tackle box for you and sending you a BurlyFishing hat, t-shirt, and sticker. I think it's a pretty solid deal. So, hey, thanks for watching, guys. You have been fantastic, and we will see you guys out on the water. Hey there, thank you so much for watching the video today. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to click this circle, wherever it is right here, to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch more videos or check out a playlist from me, you can check out this video over here, this general area, or this video over here. So you got lots of options.